What's up, everybody? It's Marcus D'Angelo, and we are back for another episode of the Hacksaw Hour. And, of course, I could never do it without the man himself, WWE Hall of Famer, legend, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Jim, what's going on, brother?
Well, you know what, brother? Ho!
Oh!
Yeah, brother. Got a little bass in there, man.
I'm getting over an illness.
I know you've been sick, so I'll cut you some slack on that hope, man. You know,
Thanks,
kind of sounded like a flare. Woo!
Hopefully,
but
not
hey,
that
buddy,
high.
how you doing, man? We've been talking for a half hour. I thought the show's halfway done, and we've been visiting.
Yeah, no, things are good, man. Aside from getting over the illness, everything's going great, and I'm excited to be back here with you. It's been a while since I saw you, brother.
Yeah, well, we got poor Deborah. She had the knee surgery on Monday.
Yes.
And meniscus repair surgery. So she's actually downstairs. And still, today's the first day we could take the bandages off and everything. And she's doing well. But it's never fun to have. I don't mind being sick. She takes care of me. You know, me, I'm like, I don't know what do I do. So our daughter Celia came up from Florida. She actually got us lined up today on the show. She's taking real good care of Deborah, and yeah, so she's doing well. And then that was on Monday, and then on Tuesday I had my cancer checkup, and that was always nice and clean.
Oh,
you know,
good.
It's always tough to like, Mr. Duggan, your blood pressure may be up a little bit. I'm like, you think?
A little intense, yeah.
I'm waiting for the doctor to come in. The doctor's a wrestling fan, Dr. Butler. He comes in, hey, Axel, how you doing? I'm like, I guess that means everything's cool, Doc. Yeah.
That seems like
take a picture, get him in a headlock, you know, and all everybody, he's got Dr. Butler. Give it up, Doc. But I get my checkups, you know, I went from every month to every 3 months. So that's good with the prostate cancer, you know, because I had no symptoms, and I had the surgery, I had the radiation, and I'm still messing with it. But still, you know, my line, you know, kids would come up and like, Hacksaw, you look a little rough compared to Macho Man. I look great. Are you kidding?
Looking good.
I'll have a pose off with a warrior.
And we say it all the time. You've still got all your hair. Not all your buddies can say that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just without all the cancer BS. And then my heart guy moved me from every 3 months to every 6 months. So health-wise, things are doing good. So get your checkup, especially folks who get a little bit older. You know, even though Flair and Hogan call me kid. But, you know, I turned 71. So thank goodness that's how we found it, just with a regular health checkup. And my PSA was high. So if you're older, get your checkup. But enough of that stuff. Let's talk about something fun, brother.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, look, a lot of things have happened since last we spoke, including your appearance on WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. Man, it's so cool to see you guys out there.
Oh, my gosh. I was still down at the daughter's house in Florida. The phone rings. I grab it. I'm looking at a 203 area code.
Oh, boy.
I figure they're calling me. I'm going to sue me or something. You know, what the hell's up, right? Then we called the Hacksaw. We'd like you to appear at Saturday night's main event. And I said, well, you know, nowadays I have to have Deborah's travels with me. You know, that's part of the deal. That's, you know, they said, no problem. I'm like, okay. Usually I'm like, well, that's a deal breaker or something. Like, no problem. So it's so great. So we flew up into Indianapolis. And we in the green room. They had us in a beautiful green room with huge leather couches, TV, big flat screen TVs, of course. Our own private restroom, and it was Dory Funk and his wife, Ted DiBiase and Mel, his wife, and me and Deborah. And I mean, we went to catering, and people are bringing us stuff at catering. Everybody's coming up and saying hello and introducing themselves. And so we finally get all back in the green room. We're like, what's up? You're being awful nice to us.
Waiting for the other shoe to drop.
It's like fattening up the sacrificial lamb. Here, have some more. You couldn't think it's on TV, and Braun Strowman is going to beat the hell out of all three of us. Yeah, we're going to give you an award. Live TV, what are you going to do? That's why they never put Brody on live TV. He'd write his own script, you know, shoot his own angle. But they treated us so great. It was really, really neat. And then, you know, Ted, they brought him out. He had the limo. It was an old Cadillac Brougham limo, beautiful, and they use it for that long, right? And shows WWE, they don't miss his trick. And finally, we went out. It was Dory, Teddy, and myself. And shoot, I got a good. Everybody was going, "Oh!" We had the place going, "USA, USA." I don't want to point that out to the writers, but the whole place was going, USA! And all those guys were nice. The writers came up. They all introduced themselves. They were all nice guys. But I tell you what, the best things were I'm sitting in the cafeteria, and this kid comes up to me, a young guy comes up, he goes, "Actually, I got you 3.5-foot left-handed 2x4. I turned around. The guy remembered the crew. I get along with the crew better than I did the talent. I'm like, "Brother, good to see you." And then one of the cameramen, he was running to do a shoot. He comes up to me, he's like, I'm like, "What?" Deborah's like, "What's he doing?" I'm like, "Brother." I'm hugging him around the cameraman, the catering girl. I can't think of her name right now. I'm going to kick myself in the butt. But anyway, it was great to see all those people behind the scenes. They're still there. The talent comes and goes. A lot of the cameramen were still there. Guys who worked backstage. And that was my always joke. I'd ask the kid, I said, "Somebody give me a 3.5-foot left-handed 2x4. And the first time I did it, he's a young guy. He's like, "Yes, sir, Mr. Duggan." Now he comes up, he remembers probably 15, 20 years later, he remembers. So that was cool. But then, so now we're all in the green room. I went to catering for a little while. Imagine that. I can't eat anything. Are you kidding? But anyway, so Deborah and I down to catering. Triple H comes down to the green room, and he has a nice talk with Teddy and Dory and their wives. They're sitting there, and of course I come in, everything's like, "You missed it, Duggan." Place is on fire. What the hell? I don't know. Shit. Yeah. No, you missed it. Triple H came and talked to us, and I'm like, "Well, that's cool, So I'm sitting there. We're watching the big screen, watching the show. One of the guys come in, Minion guys, one of the helpers said, "Hacksaw, Triple H wants to talk to you at the Gorilla." And so, so me and Deborah, we go down, we're standing in the Gorilla. And that's actually where the cameraman came up and did the gimmick at the Gorilla. And Bruce Pritchard's there. Bruce and Deborah and I, we go back years, back to Mid-South.
Yeah.
And she went over and gave Bruce a hug, and he's at the table. It's like Triple H, Bruce, and some guy I don't know. But anyway, so we can see it. Things are going to, we got to get out of Gorilla. I said, "Honey, come on, let's move out of Gorilla. And we'll wait outside in the hallway." So we're the big, huge hallway, entryway, all the trucks and everything. So we're sitting there. Triple H comes out during the break of the show. He comes out. He says, "Hey, Hacksaw, thank you so much. We got a whole new outlook on the guys, your generation of guys. We're standing on your shoulders." I mean, like, holy shit.
Wow.
I'm like, man, unbelievable. He was extremely nice. I was shocked. I really was. It was nice to be treated that well. And I respected what the old timers did back in the day, working with no days off and all that. He put all that over. And, I said, "Well, thanks very much. I knew he was working. Thanks very much, Triple H." I go to sit down, and he goes to turn around. Deborah's like, "Hey, H." No, actually, they get along. He talked to Deborah longer than he talked to me. So now this is pretty cool. Now, so H is heading back to Gorilla, and she goes, "Can I say goodbye to Bruce?" And H is like, "Yeah, go on and say goodbye to Bruce." So she runs in there and gives Bruce a hug and everything. And she says goodbye. He goes, "No, it's too late. You're in the shot." So if you watch when one of the Samoan kids, Haku's son, I guess was his manager or something, they go through the green room on the way to this ring.
Yep.
And if they pan through, there's Deborah standing, the long blonde hair and her crazy outfit she's always wearing. She got in the shot in the green room, just that long. And my daughter's like, "There's Ma."
Deborah Duggan back on TV after all these years.
Yeah, she did. She got more TV time than I did. But it was, even though, imagine that, they brought us and our wives in, put us up in a hotel, treated us great, and we're on TV 8 seconds, 10 seconds.
Man,
WWE, they don't cut corners. It's that's why it's the best in the world. That's why that talent up there is the best of the world.
it's a whole new regime up there, and that's what everybody's always saying is that, not to shit on Vince, but back in the day, Vince would bring guys in, and sometimes if he felt like it, he would bury them. And it's from what I've been hearing from a lot of the talents is that that's just not the way it is around there anymore.
Well, you know what? I was ribbing with my family and telling everybody how well they treated us and all that, and it was nice to be respected and appreciated. I said, and the proof will be in the pudding. In about 2 weeks, you will see how much they really appreciate the old timers. And they appreciated us pretty well. I can't gripe at all, man. It was another surprise. Oh, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, that was another surprise. I mean, I got the paycheck from them, and I'm like, wow. They do
Man.
appreciate the old timers, because even back in the day, you get your quarterlies. You're like, get a cup of coffee.
Man, it's cool to
At
hear that
Dunkin' Donuts, not Starbucks.
cool to hear that they're showing you guys that kind of respect. And you mentioned it. Jacob Fatu was the one who was walking through that shot, and man, he went out there and about tore Braun Strowman apart. Did you have any interactions with any of the young guys that stand out?
Haku kid that came up, one of his sons came up. Me and Haku, I've known Haku since 1979. I've known Haku longer than I've known anybody. We were living in the Chateau Blue, making $40 a week. Yeah, we struggled in the old days, man, together. So he came up. I'm sure Haku told him to come up and say hello. And yeah, so I met him and talked to him. But yeah, even the Braun Strowman came up, said hello. I can't. The young lady Ripley.
Oh, Rhea Ripley, yeah.
Yep, she came over, said hello. I mean, it was a whole different atmosphere, because I went back when what's his name, the Russian guy had the girl.
Oh, Rusev.
They brought me back, and I thought they were going to do something. Instead, he just came out and broke up my 2x4 and beat me up.
Yep.
And they had me in a broom closet by myself.
Not quite as welcoming.
And they paid me $100. I'm like, well, shit, I don't know if I want to get it. So to be appreciated like that by Triple H, that was we all appreciate it. And that's what Deborah told H. She said, from a wife's point of view, and I never looked at it that way. Still, on the way home, she was saying, I told them from a wife's point of view, it's nice that you guys appreciate the old timers. It was a great experience.
Man, I'm glad to hear
it. And then
Jim.
WrestleCon was off the hook, man. There was all kinds of people everywhere, man. Because it was the Royal Rumble. And I think it's the number 2 pay-per-view that there is. 38 years ago, brother, one-man gang was charging me. I was blown up. I had nothing left in the tank. All I could do was drop down and pull the rope. Big 350-pound gang went over. Who won the first ever Royal Rumble?
Hacksaw. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not even going to try to ho again. There's no way.
Well, especially in Pittsburgh, you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, no, not these girls, Jim. Before we move on for the Hacksaw Mailbag, because your fans brought a bunch of great questions, did want to ask you one more thing about being there and Triple H. Obviously, Triple H, one of the boys, worked his way up, had a lot of success as a wrestler, and now he's on this side of the business where he's turned from wrestler to office. Jim, pretty incredible to see one of the boys become legitimately one of the most powerful men in all of professional wrestling, right?
Yeah, it really was. I worked with him when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley down there in WCW. Him and Lord Steven Regal were tag teams, and they were doing the Great Britain deal, and I was doing the USA deal. So we were in the ring a few times, and and I potatoed the hell out of him. So that might explain a lot.
He's forgiving you, maybe.
No, I just kidding.
Man.
He was nice. You had to see somebody move, and then to get up there and not forget where you came from, and understand the boys are on the road eating Waffle House on Thanksgiving Day and stuff like that. Being stuck at the airport for 2 days and shitty hotel rooms and just the road. And, that's the hardest part of our job. You're in the ring 10, 15, 20 minutes tops. You're on the road sometimes 20 hours to get those 15 minutes in.
Yep. Yeah, God bless you guys, especially back in the day, man. It's the guys work really hard today, of course, and they bust their butts and they deserve all the money they make. But the amount of travel that they do, not exactly close to what you guys were dealing with.
No, it's crazy. I got over 6 million frequent flyer miles. That's documented. That's not counting like, Southwest and Frontier. That's Delta and American. And, back in the day it was Pan Am. And a lot of the airlines include US Air, but yeah, a lot of traveling.
Yeah, they aren't counting all the times you flew with Ronnie Garvin either. So
I
there's a
count
lot of
Ronnie
miles.
Garvin, or yeah, even Vince for a while. He had the WWF Air Force. He had about 8 little. Well, they're King Air. They're pretty good sized airplanes, twin engine airplanes, and we'd all pile on them and off to whatever town we're going to. I'm surprised he didn't have a banner behind it. WWF.
Yeah, you should always be selling something.
Yeah,
but no, man.
Yeah, and even Bill Watts had a plane. Flew with on his plane a lot.
Did he really?
Yeah, Bill had a plane.
Wow, how about that? And you got to be on the plane fairly often?
Not a whole lot. He would take the boys, And plus, he very seldom, because I lived in Alexandria, Louisiana, which is central Louisiana. Most of the guys either lived in Shreveport or Baton Rouge, northern or southern Louisiana. So I was in the middle. A few people, me and Steve Williams, Terry Gordy,
Your crew of guys.
With a real low profile in the smaller town.
Pretty hard with those
I'll tell you a quick story about it, right? My nephew comes to stay with me, and Deborah. I'm living with Deborah. I'm living in Ball, Louisiana. I said, I always joke, it was hard to get a girl to come visit. Would you like to come to Ball? No, that's the name of the town. But it's just outside of Alexandria, Louisiana. So my nephew was a little bit of a troublemaker. They sent him to stay with me for a while. So I'm working all the time. I have one night off. I'm staying at home. He's like, Uncle Jim, can I borrow the car? He's probably 20 years old, 22, something like that. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. So my one night off, I'm sitting there with Deborah playing a little kissy face. Phone rings. It's the police department. Mr. Hacksaw, yeah, we got your nephew down here, and he's giving us a real hard time. And I'm like, oh, he's right there. They gave me the key to this city. Me and Terry Gordy, Dr. Death, we could do no wrong at all in this city. We got along great with the cops. The mayor loved us. The whole little town, they loved the 3 wrestlers that were there. And my nephew is giving them a hard time. So I don't have another car. I get on a bicycle. I'm riding down. Whole time I'm riding, I get to the police station. I walk in, and all the cops are sitting down there, and I'm like, "Hey, fellas, how you doing? How you going?" They're like, "Well, he's giving us a hard time in there." And I can hear my nephew in there going, "Yo, get out of my bed, you cops! You take I'll knock you bastards out." And I said, "Well, let me talk to him, okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And they open the door, and my nephew stands up and goes, "Boom!" With a fucking headbutt. Boom! The cops are like, "Ah! This is my town! Don't screw up my town!" The cop's like, "Hacksaw, holy shit!"
I bet that cooled him off.
It juiced him pretty good. And it did. It kind of straightened him out. He got his GED and straightened out his life a little bit.
Oh, good, man. So
we still got along good with the PD in Ball, Louisiana, the Louisiana State Police. You want to get along with the Louisiana State Police, I'll tell you, brother.
Man, so we went
our show, no telling where the stories will end up, right, brother?
That's what I love about this show, man. Yeah, there's no, we throw the format out on this. But we will jump into some of these questions, and talking about you being back in WWE, I think it fits perfectly with this one question that this guy asked. So we'll start here. Jamie asked, Jim, can you please sign a Legends deal so we can get a WCW Hacksaw figure from WWE? Jim, did they try to get you to sign any contracts or anything while you were there?
Who asked this? Lenny?
It was Jamie.
Jamie, excuse me. Jamie, yeah. Jamie, you're going to hear it here first, along with Marcus. I just signed a Legends deal with the WWE.
How about that? Congrats, Jim. That's
yeah,
awesome.
right on cue, brother. Great segue. Way to get that kid in line, man, to ask the question. But
Yeah, Jamie
just recently signed the Legends deal. I haven't signed it for a while. There was a little kind of discrepancy what was going on. But we got it all worked out and was able to sign it. And so hopefully the action figures and the games and will be coming back out again.
So we're going to be seeing Jim Duggan on, like you said, you're going to be on WWE video games. Whenever guys sign, they get the action figures. There's going to be all sorts of Jim merchandise coming soon from WWE. Man, that's awesome news, Jim.
Yeah, it was. Yep. I was going to kind of break it to you, but Jamie blew the whole surprise, brother. Thanks very much, man. No, great way to get into it. But I'm excited. Like I said, it's a whole new day up there in WWE, and proud to be part of it. Of course, I never blasted the WWE. I never blasted Vince. I said, as bad as he was, I still wouldn't be where I am without him. Yep. Wrestling wouldn't be where it is without him. I mean, I can't vouch for his character, but as a businessman that took wrestling from high school gyms and National Guard armories to what it is today. But I signed that deal, so hopefully it won't take too long to be in the circuit to come out with new action figures and stuff. And hopefully they give me some abs this time,
You deserve them, of
Buff
course.
Me up. Well, Magnum's the last ones to come out. The Magnum's action figures. I forget what they. Yeah,
the Power Town Toys.
Yes, I'm trying to think if there's one up here. Darn it! But they got me buffed up. Shoot, I look great, man.
It makes sense, that physique on Hacksaw, absolutely.
Well, things kids don't know, they're like back in the day. Oh yeah, that was pretty much the scale.
the figure doesn't do it justice. Well, Jim, now that Jamie mentioned it, they're releasing a line of WCW Monday Night Wars action figures. You were involved in the Monday Night Wars, and as a matter of fact, you wore some purple trunks during that period of time with gold boots.
Yeah,
so we might see that one.
Kevin Sullivan. I tell you, I think Vince Russo tried everything he could to kill me off. I mean, they're like, you're hoeing too much. You should cut down on your hoeing. And I'm like, they're all hoeing back at me. It's not like it's ho.
Right.
Like, oh. And they're like, well, you got them going USA so much. Let's see if you can get them chanting WCW.
How'd that go?
Well, they gave me gold boots, purple trunks. Instead of the American flag, I had a WCW flag. It kind of went the way WCW went.
Not
exactly. A huge flushing sound. I mean, it's pro wrestling. I walk into the building 40 years later at Indianapolis, the people are going, USA, USA. Notice that, writers. I mean, back then, they don't even, let's do something different with Duggan. Just give me a non-American. Iranian, a Russian, a Cuban, somebody. People just want to chant USA, and they want to chant with somebody that believes it, and it's coming from the soul. It's not like Lex going, USA.
Mm-hmm.
When the Hacksaw was out there, I was going, USA. It was coming from USA, man.
And why rewrite the book? It's something that worked consistently for 20 years.
How about Team Canada? Another great idea. Vince Russo, geez. Everybody thinks they sent him there to sabotage the WCW. Him and Vince were really tight. Like, okay, go down there.
Oh, man.
Sent the company.
It worked if that's what they were planning.
Turner Broadcasting, just association. Just stick guys with a few movie stars. It just elevates the boys. I mean, there's so many things that company could have done, but what the hell? I
The fall.
enjoyed it. I made more money there than I did with WWF.
So there's that, man. The fall from 1999 to 2001, a 2-year span, Jim, where it was like top of the world. Bill Goldberg is on the Tonight Show, like it was peak. It's never been higher. Competing with WWF back and forth. 2 years later, out of business. It's like unfathomable.
Shows exactly what a brilliant businessman Vince McMahon is. I mean, he beat Ted Turner. With Ted Turner, with all Turner's power and companies and stuff, Vince McMahon still beat him. I mean, those guys coming out to the arena in a with a tank or whatever it was, a Jeep, just for combat. That's genius, man. That's great.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And man, it's a shame because I missed WCW. I was a WCW
Well,
fan.
that was a hot time, but tough time for the boys, though. If you're on and your ratings are here and the WWE guys' ratings are here, then boom, you're gone and somebody else will compete for that spot. That's what people don't realize, how competitive wrestling is. It's not sports, it's television. It's more competitive than sports. It doesn't matter what great athlete you are. You can be the best athlete in the world, but if you can't talk on television, if you can't perform in front of people, it makes no difference. And then some guy's not an athlete at all, and boom, is a huge star. Look at Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jim, I was at a show recently, and it's customary at these wrestling shows for the young trainees to come out, and they set up the ring, and then, they'll come backstage and they'll talk to a lot of the wrestlers and ask a lot of wrestlers for advice. I'm the new kid on the block, but they don't know that. They're new trainees, so they're coming up to me and saying, like, hey, you have any advice for me? And I was like, well, I'll give you the advice that I hear Jim Duggan give all the time, and that's work on your promo and your character. Because everybody can take a backdrop. So I was using some of your stuff to try and pass knowledge.
Well, it makes sense. Everybody can work. And you got to have something to stick out. You're not going to do some kind of triple dive flip off the top rope, but if you have the right character, people, Hacksaw, what was your favorite move? I said, I kick and punch. What are you talking about? What's my favorite move? That's Brett and Sean and those guys. I carry a 2x4. Favorite move.
It's about a lot more than the moves, folks. All right, we can move on and get some of these questions in. Here we go. Paluzzo, I think is how you say it. And they ask, aside from the Iron Sheik arrest, what is your biggest regret in wrestling? They always got to bring that shit up, huh?
Well, no, that's true. But it's a moment in wrestling history. I got to live with it. I was over 18. That was my mistake. But should have known better. So boom. That obviously is the biggest regret. And the other regret outside of wrestling, or
he's saying
I bought a gym one time, man. That was a huge.
The way he framed
buying Hacksaw Duggan's Muscle and Fitness, it's like right there, It was a huge black hole. So but in wrestling, I'd have to think for a second there. Another regret in wrestling. Well, I wish I took the business more serious, I guess. I partied probably as much as anybody. I just never got hooked on the stuff,
Gotcha.
I partied hard, and I never. But it's just not me. Even now, I was ready to leave Saturday Night Main Event when we were done. Limo ready. And then guys, some guys are backstage guys. Ted and Jake, they both could be producers. Arn Anderson, guys like that. So I wish I kind of paid a little more attention to the business, but nothing. I mean, it's been a great business for me, knocking out Andre the Giant, winning the first ever Royal Rumble. And I tell you that where I say I'm one of the more successful wrestlers in wrestling. I'm still alive. I'm still with my wife. Put 2 daughters through school. I didn't have to go to rehab for booze or drugs. At 71, I travel the world signing autographs. It's been a great business for me.
And you're a Hall of Famer, so it's like pretty hard to look at much regret, right? Now, Jim, one thing that I do hear a lot
What
of
the heck?
oh, what do we have here? Breaking news. All right, what do
Breaking
we have?
news. Guess what's coming up in March, Marcus?
I know, but why don't you smarten up our audience, Jim? I'm
I
excited.
don't have the dates right in front of me. Open them up. Open it up. I got directions here. All right. Breaking news. A Hard Knocks event with DWA. That's the German wrestling company. We're going over to Germany March 15th in Delmenhorst, Germany. Very cool. That's March 15th. I want to show everybody something. Years ago, 1993, I was over in Dortmund, Germany, and they presented me this, and it was the 700th anniversary of the town. 700 years. Put everything in perspective, right? I mean, yeah, it goes from 1293 to 1993.
I'm gonna zoom on you for a sec so we can have a look. Look at that thing.
Oh, it's gorgeous, huh? And there it is,
Incredible.
700-year anniversary of the town. And so I have a great relationship with the folks in Germany, and it's been a long time since I'm going over there. And so Deborah and I are going to come over. We're going to be doing autographs with the DWA. So looking forward to that. But then right after that, we're flying over to the UK. We're flying into Glasgow March 18th, Manchester, England, March 19th, and London on the 20th. So it's going to be a whole UK tour. We're excited. The girls are going to come over to Glasgow, Manchester, and London to join us. So it's going to be like the European vacation with Chevy Chase, you know.
Man,
But
how
we're
cool.
excited to go back to Europe as always, you know, and it's an easier flight. You know, everybody likes to go to Japan and all. That's brutal. Australia, brutal. You know, flying to the over to Europe is not as almost going to the West Coast. Not quite, but not bad. So we're going to have fun over there. Looking forward to seeing all the fans over there. Like 93 was the last time I was there, and they presented me that. But that
Man.
puts things in perspective over here. People are like, that's old. That's 200 years old.
Man,
You go over to Europe, you're like, holy smokes, 700 years in town. But,
a little older.
yeah, cool.
Man, so
That
that's
was my
DW
daughter. We did the breaking news. We rehearsed that.
the director of our show, Celia. Thank you, Celia. Uh, well, so again, that's DWA in Germany, and then over with there in the UK or in Ireland rather, you're going to be with Kenny McIntosh and Inside the Ropes is who's putting that on, right?
Now I'm not sure who's doing the Glasgow, Manchester, London.
That's it. Glasgow, Manchester, London. It is Kenny McIntosh from Inside the Ropes who's putting that one on.
Yeah, Inside the Rope. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Deborah handles all the contracts and stuff. I'm like, where are we
Kenny,
going this week, honey? You know, now she's laid up. I'm like, oh, geez.
it's all out of sorts. But man, Kenny's great and he does awesome stage shows. So folks, if you've been waiting for your opportunity to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan in Germany or over there in the UK, take advantage. He's going to be there next month. So it's coming up fast.
Yeah, and I try to keep a family-friendly, positive outlook at wrestling. You know, I mean, some of the guys are a little X-rated, and you know, they're at business, that dirty business, a rotten business, the stinking business.
A little more lighthearted with Hacksaw.
Jake. No, just kidding.
Well,
it was good to see Jake. We're in Indianapolis. I'm sitting there signing autographs and stuff. All of a sudden, everything got knocked off my table.
That damn
all my
snake.
pictures, my 2x4s. Security guy, I'm like, no. I know it. Actually, I had it coming. He owed me.
Oh, you a little payback. You are.
Deborah's like, it's a bunch of third graders, you guys, knocking each other's stuff off the table.
Man, it's you guys don't want to miss your chance to spend some time with Jim. So get over there and do it. There in Europe.
Thank you.
Jim, before we move on to the next one, I did want to ask, one of the things that I hear a lot of guys say that they regret in later years is that they weren't more vocal with the office, meaning they didn't go and get Vince's ear or complain about creative a little bit more, just
Yeah,
be the
well,
squeaky
that's
wheel.
kind of where I was. Yeah, I have been more office oriented. You know,
Yeah.
I was happy with my spot. You know, he was paying me okay. You know, things were going good. I was going to rock the boat. You know, I mean, looking back at it, yeah, because there's supposedly Sergeant Slaughter always tells me the story they were going to put the tag belts on us. And by the time we got on the flight and flew to wherever we're going, Hawk, or Animal actually, because Hawk didn't do any business. Animal was the business guy, and he talked him into putting on the Road Warriors. You know? So I don't know if that's true or not. You know, that's wrestling. You know, but telephone, telegraph, tele-wrestler.
Yep.
And, but that actually worked out. I'd rather have not been tag team champion. You know?
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because guys, Jake, Teddy, myself, we didn't need a belt.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's the deal of who are some of the best known wrestlers that never were champion.
The Hacksaw's on those lists.
Yeah, DiBiase, Duggan, and the Snake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my whole deal. I don't care if I win the match, long as I win the fight, tough guy. You know, so
you did it in a way
but I
that
did have a few belts that WCW, you know, U.S. heavyweight, where I beat stunning Steve Austin so bad he had to shave his head and change his name. I beat the hair right off the boy's head. Beat him so bad he ran up to WWE.
I guess it turned out all right.
Cold with skulls on my T-shirt so I could scare kids at the grocery store. I'm not some punk kid at the grocery store. I'm Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and my feet cover the ground I stand on, tough guy. Ho!
I'm gonna hit you with a hoe next
Sometimes
time. Sometimes
it's just fun to do that, man. You know, get it out. Holy shit! Imagine having that in you all the time. You know.
Well,
you go to Walmart. I'll have one of these.
I'm sure everybody.
I told you that's what happened to Macho, right? A milkshake, hamburger, and some fries. Snap into it.
Oh man, I've missed talking.
Where'd all that come from? Holy shit! This coffee, I drink iced coffee.
Next up, we've got Sean P. Crouch, who asks, what is one thing that you always take with you when you were wrestling? Is there something that you like? I know a lot of guys are superstitious. They always want to bring some of the same stuff on the road with them. Did you have anything like that?
No, nothing like that. I always carry the minimum. I've been known to have my trunks hanging out the window, drying them off after washing them. On the way to the show. At the last minute, yeah. You know, some guys come in with 3 or 4 bags. I'd come in with a limited amount. Yeah. I don't wear jewelry. I don't carry a lot of extra stuff.
Travel light.
Yeah. Don't wear underwear.
Well, you brought it up. You weren't wearing any.
Well, not nowadays. I wear Depends. Are you kidding? Holy shit! I said, I wish I knew about them in the old days. You could do an autograph session for hours. Hey.
Yeah, you never have to get up.
Oh.
Wear them in the ring too.
Yeah. Well, I never had a mistake in the ring. Some of the guys did.
You never did.
No, I never. I puked in the ring before, but I never pooped in the ring.
What made you puke? Were you just fighting a bug?
Drunk as shit, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll do.
I think it was actually alcohol poisoning. You know, New Orleans, and yeah, it was bad. And I had plus you're up on the ring, right? And back then the folks were a lot closer to the ring. So I'm like, oh, I hang on in between that second rope, and it's like, whoa. And it does that.
Oh no!
So a lot of people were in the splash zone, you know.
Oh no!
And they're like, "Oh, Jesus!"
Little souvenir from Hacksaw.
Yeah.
You know,
that
I heard
one of the regrets I've had. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one to add to the regrets. I heard Mick Foley say once that. How do you phrase it? He said something to the effect of, if you don't poop your pants every once in a while in the ring, you're not trying hard enough. I mean, and he says that apparently a lot of the boys would have an accident in the ring. So you're one of the rare exceptions. Never happened to you.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. From a lot of the guys I've talked to,
you check with Theodore. Have DiBiase had a mistake in the ring like that?
He claims to have only vomited in the ring like you, but Jake said that.
Yeah,
Jake said
I think Mick's just trying to cover his tracks. Oh, everybody does it.
Yeah, maybe it's
Everybody
just
does
me.
it. Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
Everybody that's wrestling Foley is like, holy shit. I really mean holy shit.
Did anybody ever shit themselves in the ring with you? Like your opponent?
Not that I'm aware of. Tony Atlas shit in the limo on the way to Vegas at Legends house. Oh my God, they shit his pants. It was disgusting. Oh, gee. We're in a
Oh,
limo.
brutal.
It was me, Piper, Howard Finkel, and Tony Atlas. And there wasn't, and they had the camera guy. They had the camera in the limos, and the guy wouldn't stop.
Oh.
Like, and the deal, we all got out to go to the bathroom, and Tony didn't get out. We're like, Tony, it's a long ride, but anyway. But yeah, in the limo, but never in the ring.
Okay. Well, that sounds maybe worse.
It was.
John Flowers Productions has a really interesting question, Jim. He says, my late buddy Dave Stanley was at the heart of the SMU pay-for-play scandal in 1986, and I want to know, what, if any, unauthorized incentives were the SMU players receiving in the mid-70s?
Well,
hypothetically.
Because I was recruited by Woody Hayes in Ohio State, Joe Paterno at Penn State, real close to New York.
Yeah.
And I went all the way to Dallas, Texas, to play my college ball. So me and Gene Okerlund used to say, we're going to talk to Hacksaw Duggan, who took a cut and pay to leave SMU and go to the Atlanta Falcons. But T.C. Strickland was my guy, man. He was my kind of sugar daddy back in the day. But my main thing, and because my family to this day we're very close. Me and my sisters, but me and my mom and dad. And I said I want my folks to see me play, so they would bring my folks down to watch me play 2 games, and then they fly me back and forth, which you're not supposed to do, and give me some money and. Maybe some more money.
Not a bad gig.
No. Well, we had a pretty strong team back then. Well, of course, now the guys are paying them millions of dollars, But the alumni would take care of it. But compared to other schools, everybody kind of offered a little something, except Penn State.
Oh, they didn't offer any.
It's not the coaches. It's the alums.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they tried to keep it pretty clean, but.
I didn't know that you were recruited by Joe Paterno. Did he come to your house or anything?
No, but I made a Penn State visit. Yeah, actually, before my Facebook went down, I was posting I posted all those letters from Paterno and the Woody Hayes and stuff. And I made a visit to Penn State, but I didn't actually like Penn State.
Not for you. State College, pretty small little town.
No, I'm from a small town. But actually, what happened, the coach I had as a freshman in high school went to Penn State, and he was in the coaching staff there. He just assumed I would come to Penn State to be with him. And so actually, the signing date was quite a deal. On the national signing date, I had Kentucky, Penn State, and SMU at my house.
Wow.
Yeah. And I felt bad. I was a young kid. I was crying. I had to say no to these guys. And the Penn State got up. Fuzzy Nolan was his nickname, and he stormed out. And Kentucky's like, "We'll win with you. We'll win without you." And then SMU was like, "Yeah, we got you."
All right.
So it was a huge decision. I went down there. I had a record. I started as a freshman because that was the first year freshmen could start as varsity. So I set a record for consecutive starts. I got the Mike Kelsey Award for 110% effort. I was captain of the team. I had a great college career, but the main thing about it is that's where I met Vince McMahon. Excuse me, Vince McMahon. I met Fritz von Erich.
Yes.
Yeah, and Fritz is the one that gave me the gift of pro wrestling.
A young Jim Duggan, with all those recruiters present, made a choice that would impact the rest of your entire life. It's incredible.
Well, it was my mom. God bless her. My mom. My daughter Celia is named after my mom. But I came back from Ohio State, and I'm like, I want to play for Ohio State because the coach, the offensive line coach, he brings me down on the field. I'm cross-eyed, I can't play defense. Who's got the ball? They're like, block this guy right here.
The guy in front of you, kill him.
Yeah, so the coach has got me on the field at Ohio State Stadium with the big O and everything. It's totally empty. But now he's giving me situations down and distance, and we're running down the field. It's third down. We threw a pass, and we're going down the field. Now we're down on like the 2-yard line. It's fourth down. It's 10 seconds left to go for the national championship. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to run the ball over you. Are you going to make that block? I'm like, yes, sir, coach. I was hooked, man. I came home. I'm like, I'm going to Ohio State. And my mom hooked me. She's like, Jim, you'll just be at a number at Ohio State. SMU, because the offensive line coach came up to Glens Falls, Coach Cutbirth. And he had a big 10-gallon cowboy hat, big cowboy buckle, cowboy boots, in upstate New York back in the 70s. Stuck out like a sore thumb, and talked with that real twang. My mom fell in love with him. And he would take it away. And he just sweet talked, and they did. He took good care of me. I had a great career. But, football, without football, I'd be working probably at the French and Prine paper mill, or maybe working for the fire department up there in Glens Falls.
Man, really got to believe God was looking over your shoulder, and your mother, for that matter. Your mom making choices has impacted you all these years later. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Next up, we've got Jay Zaretsky, who asks, what do you think the career of Bruiser Brody would have been if the tragedy in Puerto Rico didn't happen?
Well, Brody was so unpredictable. I don't know if the big companies would take a chance. Like I said, they wouldn't put him on live TV. He shoot his own angle. He's, not supposed to beat somebody up. He might hit the ring and just start doing something totally off script. So I don't know if they could control Brody like they would want to. I mean, he'd be the biggest star as he wanted to be. I think Brody was one of the most impressive men that I've ever met physically. And believable. Yeah, he was a huge mentor in my career. He'd be the biggest star as he wanted to be, like he was in Japan.
I can't picture him kind of giving up to Vince. Like, a lot of guys are just like, yeah, whatever Vince wants.
Yeah, I'd go along. We're going to make you the king of wrestling and put this Harley, have the cape, the crown, the flag, the board, the thumb, the tongue, the hoe, the cross eyes. And Bobby Heenan, get him an eagle, Vince. Get him an eagle.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something Brody would do.
Jay Strongbow, because I'd be out there trying to carry all this crap. And he's like, can you be a little more serious in the ring, Duggan? Brother.
If I had to guess, I would think that Brody would probably go the Stan Hansen route and just make a bunch of money in Japan and be over there.
Yeah. And those guys were tag teams. Stan's one of my best friends. I'm in Stan's book. I think we told you about the fight we had in Japan over there years ago.
Oh yeah.
And Stan and I, we used to have squirt gun fights because you had all this time to kill. I mean, hours and hours. You can't watch TV because it's all in Japanese. You don't understand nothing. So we'd be in these big, huge hotels, and it'd be like serious squirt gun fights where if you're shot, you'd be going around,
Gotta do something to kill the time. And you guys got to stick out like sore thumbs as it is, and now you're having squirt gun battles.
But Stan's a good man, and a legit tough guy. And him and Brody were huge in Japan. I don't think Doc and Gordy were over there. They were strong, but I don't think anybody would be as strong as Hansen and Brody.
Jim, we'll do 2 more and then I'll let you go. Harris Hughes is up next. Did you ever spend much time around Eddie Guerrero?
Nope, not too much. It's different generation. Chavo now, the old man Chavo. I saw a young Chavo at Indianapolis, but Chavo Sr., I think of him every time I take a shower. I got a big gig in my head from the old man. Yeah, so he hit me with a chair. You're supposed to, when you get, as you know, you've been working a little bit, you got a folding steel chair. When you hit a guy with the folding steel chair, Wrestling 101, You hit him with the seat of the chair,
Yes.
not the other side with all the ridges.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know Chavo Senior, but Guerrero, him and I think they beat the devil out of me, man. Him and Hugh Morris, Dean Malenko, they were the
Oh,
Misfits or something.
yeah, yeah, the
Yeah, I had
filthy
interaction
wrestling.
with them in the ring down there in WCW. I don't really remember what it was, but I don't think it was when I was Team Canada. But I think they may have jumped me in the ring one time or something. All those guys.
Yes, okay. I don't know, I can't remember if Eddie was part of that group or not, but, yeah, I know for sure that I
Yeah,
remember the
well, it was the
segment you talked about.
Malenko and
Shane
I can't.
Douglas, I
Yeah,
think, was in that group, yeah.
yeah.
All right, we'll do one more and that'll wrap us up. David has got an interesting one. He asks, "Any memories of working for Juggalo Championship Wrestling?" That's the,
That's
Insane Clown
the
Posse.
yeah, I know, Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
Yo, I did 2 shows for the Insane Clown Posse, man. Had no idea what to expect, you know. So they have it. It's like Woodstock almost. I mean, they have it in these huge state parks. There's thousands of people there. They're camping out, and there's marijuana just smell everywhere. All kinds of stuff going on. So I get there. You know, we get there like 7 o'clock, and I'm looking at the board, and I'm going to the ring at midnight. And I'm going to the ring at midnight, and it's a flashlight match. I'm like, well, you know, I've been around a while, but I've never heard of a flashlight match. And they said, well, everybody in the audience shines their flashlights in the ring
Okay.
and you wrestle. So now by the time we go to wrestle, everybody is smashed. It's midnight. They're drunk and women are exposing their breasts. I mean, people are naked. I mean, it's a zoo. And I'm trying to think. I can't. He did the Confederate deal, and he's like, "Well, Hacksaw will do this, and we'll do that, and I will do this." And no, brother, I'll choke you. You choke me. I'll choke you. We ain't gonna do shit out there. They got flashlights. They can't see what we're doing, right? And so
Right.
then the second year, it was about daybreak. The sun's coming up. And I'm on contract. There's people passed out. I mean, that's sleeping. You know, few people are awake. I mean, they go out there because they have 24 hours of wrestling, right? So then we
Yeah.
get done. I jump in the car because I learned my lesson because the first year I rode in the limo, and that's when Gangrel threw up in the limo.
Oh, no. You've had
Yes.
bad limo
So I
experiences.
yeah. So I said, now this year I'm gonna get my own rent a car. So I got a rent a car. So we're getting ready to leave. I got Beefcake with me. So Greg and Tito are there. And Greg the Hammer Valentine, Tito Santana. And they're like, Hacksaw, can we jump in the car with you? And I'm like, yeah, sure, jump in, man. So we had a big rented Lincoln, you know, and we're pulling out. As soon as you pull out of the state park, there's this huge roadblock. You know, they got a bus full of people they're arresting. All those guys are so screwed up. They're driving out. They're arrested for drunk driving. Everybody's got pot. I mean, it's a huge spotlight type, unbelievable roadblock, like Checkpoint Charlie almost, you know. And the cop comes in, he looks in the car, he looks around with his flashlight, goes, "It's Back to the Future or what?" Everybody was shilling their gear trying to get the hell out of there, you know. So we got out of there. We smart enough nowadays not to carry nothing, you know. So boom.
Man, what an experience for Juggalo Championship
Oh,
Wrestling.
but they paid really well back then. They really did.
They'd have
Plus,
to
they'd have
for
to get you go to the ring at daybreak. Holy shit!
working those hours in a flashlight match. Good grief,
Yeah, but
man.
they put on a good show for the fans. I mean, they brought in a lot of wrestlers. They have 24 hours of wrestling. Yeah, so you didn't have to work hard. That's for you. Just had to stay awake.
Well, Jim, that is going to wrap us up. This was a great episode. I love the Hacksaw Mailbag. We never know where we're going to go. Next time we talk, I think, we're approaching right now the 40-year anniversary of you and Ted in the Best Dressed Man competition. So,
Oh,
yeah, so 40 years ago. So I think on the next episode, we might want to talk about that one.
I might have to dress up a little bit.
So maybe I'll even dress up, Jim. We'll do it
That'd be
again.
something new, brother.
I'm down here in my cold basement with my hat on and stuff, but I'll wear a tux for you this time, Jim.
Yeah, I'll hold you to that, kid. Hey, tell Piper I hope she feels better.
Thank you. I hear her up there messing around, so I got to go see what she's up there goofing around with. But I'll make sure I give her the best from Hacksaw, and I'll see you again in a couple weeks.
And I won't ask for a hoe. I'll take care of both of us, brother. Ho!
Thank you, Jim, and we'll see you guys next time on the Hacksaw Hour.
Thanks, folks.